Hi Gemini, hope that you're doing well. We're going to do a reading today for the last half of July going into the beginning of August. So in front of us we've got two of the decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. We're going to start off with a message from the Beautiful Creatures Tarot deck. So usually I use this deck as an oracle card deck. That's what I'm going to be doing with it today. So let's get straight into it. Just give me one moment. So for some reason I've got a very dry, tickly throat and coughing, like when I just finished the Capricorn reading and then was moving on to yours, and in between, yeah, my throat's gone weird. So I don't know if there's communication issues coming up for you or if that's what you're going through at the minute, but let's let's get your card out. So what does Gemini's Sun, Moon or Rising need to know? Wow, communication. We've got the Queen of Swords. Okay, in this deck, it's about fairness, but we'll see what else comes up. But yeah, my throat's just gone so weird. And then we have that moon again. So I said it in the Virgo reading to start with, that the full moon that we've got coming up. So that's on the, I believe it's the 21st, Sunday the 21st. We've got a full moon in Capricorn. And in Virgo's reading, I had an intuitive feeling that that moon would be relevant. And then cards kept on coming out with a full moon in it. And obviously for Capricorn, because it's in their sign, they would probably feel it quite intensely. But the moon is standing out. So yeah, maybe for you, that's going to be quite relevant as well. Is that blurry? Okay. So let's get your tarot cards out as well. I think, Gemini, I'd check, if you want to, check what what house, which one of your houses that full moon is going to happen in your birth chart if you want to. Just bear with me. I'm just going to have another drink of water because my throat is just not recovered for some reason. Okay, let's see if we can continue. So what else do we need to know for Gemini's Sun, Moon and Rising? Why am I not even surprised? We have the Ace of Swords, which can be connected to communication. That's one of the meanings for it. We've then got the Lovers. Anything else? There seems to be a big theme about choices so far. I've done You're My fourth reading, and there seems to be a thing with choices. I know the Lovers can be the choice, or at one point it was viewed as the choice in the tarot, but it's coming to mind again if there's a choice thing here, and it's probably a collective theme at the minute. I mean, I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on there at the minute, but yeah, there seems to be a thing about choice. Right, we've got the Ten of Swords and we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Let's start to get the clarifiers out here and see what comes up for you. So Ace of Swords, what do we need to know for Gemini? So the first one to come out was the Ace of Wands, and the next one was the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Three of Swords and the Magician. So just bear with me again a second because my throat is just really irritated. I'm just going to pause. It will only be like a second for you. Okay, Gemini, sorry about that. I don't know why my throat is going like this. You might need to speak up about something. If something's not feeling fair at present, you might need to speak up about it. There is something, a message coming in about needing to make an empowered move or an empowered choice. Excuse me, with the Ace of Swords there and the Magician being there. I am getting that dodgy energy. You know, this is the magician that I always say. Out of all of the magicians, this one gives me like sinister vibes. So if this magician doesn't represent you and the need to kind of make an empowered move or empowered choice or be more confident about something, it can represent someone external to you or an external circumstance that has been detrimental to you with that Three of Swords there, you know, hurt you or disappointed you in some way. So as I say, there might be a need to speak up, but also, again, with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Pentacles there, there's something about an empowered move, an empowered choice. Let's look at the Lovers. The word justified is coming to mind as well. Something about being justified with the Ace of Swords and, of course, the Queen of Swords energy as well. And the thought is coming in of you possibly needing to put an end to something because of, I mean, we have got the Ten of Swords there, but then after the 10, it's like the cycle begins again with the Ace of Swords, doesn't it? So I've got the High Priestess now, and I think, yeah, I'm going to do them neatly. She's back, Queen of Swords again with that Sword of Truth. And to be frank, when I was looking at the Ace of Swords, I was thinking Sword of Truth, and for the Queen of Swords, it literally is her Sword of Truth, isn't it? And again, that whole communication thing. See, the High Priestess is, she does have a connection to communication as well, but usually it's where something's hidden. It can be where something's hidden and there's a need to let that out. Let's see. Try that again because they're just sort of spewed out of the deck. And I feel like saying to someone as well, whatever your gut feeling is about something, it's right. That's what I feel like saying with those two cards there. So with the Lovers, yes, there can be an element of a relationship here. Potentially a romantic connection or something where whatever you got feeling about that is, it's right. It could literally be just about a choice that you want to make or that you're contemplating, and you got what you got feeling about that is, that's right as well. But that's literally what I felt like saying. I don't know why I feel like as well, there's a situation where someone can't get a word in edgewise. And I don't know if that's why my throat is just messed up all of a sudden. Literally, you can't get a word in edgewise. Is it edgeways or edgewise? I can't. Yeah. Anything else? It's like I'm losing my voice, so I don't know if you feel like you're losing your voice or you've lost your voice. We've got the Five of Pentacles there. Six of Pentacles, that can be have a kind of connection to fairness in terms of give and take, and also about being valued in terms of what you give as well comes to mind. So we have the Death card in reverse, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and the Judgment card in reverse as well. It kind of feels like with these three cards being in reverse, some kind of, I don't know if it's holding back or some sort of delay or some sort of interference. That's what that feels like. I just want to get one for that Page of Pentacles on its own. We've got the King of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. So you're reading, I think the Five of Pentacles, did it come up in Capricorn? I believe it came up in Capricorn. And for them, it's giving a similar vibe to what it feels like for you, where it felt like rejection for them, but not them being rejected, them rejecting something for their own benefit. And it kind of feels like that here for you because, I mean, this is my favourite Queen of Swords out of all the decks I've got so far. I don't know, I just love her face. She's just, I mean, for some you might say she looks smug, but I would say it is maybe a little bit smug, but it's more along the lines of confident and self-assured. And it's kind of like, if that's your energy, or it's encouraging you to take on that kind of energy, it'll be to kind of reject something for your own benefit. You know, you've got the King of Cups there, who I often say, depending on what cards are around him, it's like he's honoring how he feels and going for what's best for him, the opportunity that's best for him, you know, whatever that is, or the choice that's best for him. So overall, with that Lovers card, again, that thing about trust whatever you feel, trust you got it's right. And I guess overall with the Lovers, it's choosing what's right for you and what's best for you. Again, that kind of came up in the Capricorn reading. I'd say choosing what's fair and honorable to you, because you've got the that card there that talks about fairness. So choose what honors you and what's fair to you, because the Six of Pentacles, there is something honorable about that card as well. But as I say, it feels like there's interference. It really does. I don't know how that works, whether it's a situation, a person, but there's some kind of interference that's preventing this from happening, because the Death card would be where something ends or changes. That's being interfered with. Queen of Pentacles, that is your own, like your own well-being, isn't it? Looking out for yourself. There's interference there. Judgment, again, that's that rebirth energy, or it can be where you're answering the call to something, but it literally, with them being in reverse, it literally just feels like interference there. Whether it's you delaying yourself, or someone else is involved in delaying the situation, or, you know, there's paperwork involved and that's delaying the situation. I don't know, but let's continue. So we've got the Ten of Swords next, where we'll see what comes out for that. So that's good. We've got two tens, which is the end of something, whether that's already happened or that needs to happen. Clearly, if that happens, we've got Temperance there, so that's likely to kind of restore the sense of balance, which this, you've got the two scales there in the Queen of Swords, which is balance as well, isn't it? And you had the Six of Pentacles, which can be to do with balance too. And it can refer to your sense of inner harmony as well with the Temperance card. We've got the Knight of Wands there. Three of Cups. I might get one just for that Knight of Wands on its own. And then we've got the Two of Swords. Let's get one for the Knight of Wands. Do I really want to take that many? Okay, I will. That makes sense. So you've got the Hermit, the Page of Swords, and the Strength card. And I feel like I'm speaking a lot more quietly than I usually do, because my throat is still messed up. So that just feels so important here about that communication. So with the Knight of Wands here, there's something about, it's kind of like going on your own path, isn't it? Because you've got the Hermit, who does go off on their own journey. You've got the Knight of Swords, who they investigate things, they find new truths. And then you've got the Strength card as well, which is a card of courage. So there might be something here for one person at least about figuring something out for yourself, figuring things out for yourself, whether it is literally going off on a journey or path to figure it out, or even just mentally before you take action. But it's almost like you got to figure it out for yourself. Let's look at the Two of Swords on its own. We've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Swords. Let's get one more. There's so many cards about choice in these readings this week. It's insane. I think all of the readings were about a choice. Again, you've got the Two of Swords there, which can be about making a decision. It can be about having two truths. But because you've got the Wheel of Fortune, I'd say there is some sort of decision that's to be made. And then you've got the Seven of Cups as well, which can be a card of options or choosing, you know, making the right choice, that sort of thing. So that's come up again. I would say with the Empress there, again, it's that a similar energy with Capricorn where it's like choosing what's best for you, what's fair for you, what'll be best for you. You know, the Empress gives me an energy of looking out for yourself, making sure that you are prioritizing yourself. Because when I say it like that, it does sound like it's just completely selfish, which is never what it's about, is it? But it's about making yourself a priority in your own life and in whatever choice it is that needs to be made. Because it might just be one small thing. But as I say, there's a need to figure it out for yourself. So I don't know if there is interference. You've got the Three of Cups there. So I don't know if there's something about support, and I feel like this has come up in your readings before about support, where you need to feel supported. There might be a decision around deciding who, how do I put it, the right people to be involved with in something, or the right people to seek support from, or even something as simple as the right people to choose as friends, you know, or the right friends, you know, like certain problems you have, you can't, like one person, even if it's your best friend, they can't, or whoever you're closest to in life, that person can't be your everything, can they? Sometimes you have to reach outside of that person to get what it is you need. You know, like say if you have a best friend and you're very into spiritual stuff and you get in hardcore into everything and following a spiritual path, but they're just like the exact opposite. Like they're still your best friend and you still got a lot in common, but they just cannot relate to the spiritual stuff at all. It's like you can tell them about it, but they're not really, it's not their thing, is it? So they're not wrong, but it's just not their thing. So they don't really get it and they can't connect with it like you do. So it's like you might have to make a decision, right? Okay, so my best friend isn't really, it's not that I can't talk to them about it at all, but I kind of want more engagement. It's like deciding, right, so how can I get that engagement that I want outside of that friend? You know, what are there groups I can join? Are there new friends I can make to get that sense of belonging or engagement within that particular area of my life? That's just one thought or example that comes to mind. And it's clarifying the Ten of Swords, isn't it? One little message that's coming in on its own is about ending poor communication. Something about ending poor communication comes to mind here as well. But it looks, for the most part, I'd say with the Ten of Swords, it's just like something's not working and it needs to end and a new direction needs to be explored. Any interference that's detrimental needs to be removed as well, or addressed at the very least. But as I say, there's a big thing at the heart of all this of figuring it out for yourself. Okay. And again, going back to that whole, it's got to be fair to you. So let's get to the Eight of Pentacles. What do we need to know about the Eight of Pentacles? We've got the Seven of Wands. I feel immediately the first thing that, or first thought that comes to mind with that Seven of Wands, clarifying the Eight of Pentacles, is about being selective. It's literally about, feels like being selective about how and where you give your time and energy and effort and what you invest in as well. And I guess that would help to make sure that it's fair to you. It's just like a feeling of things and people can only have an impact if you let them in. That's a thought that comes to mind here. But as I say, it's mainly a thought of being selective. You got the six. Why have you got so many sixes? Oh, sorry, only two sixes. Felt like more than that. Again, that fairness and balance with the sixes. I'm saying there's so many and it's only two, but it feels like more. So I think that is a big theme here, that sense of balance and fairness as well. Yeah, okay, I can see what's... Let me just get one more. I think I'll get one for that Six of Cups on its own. Okay, we've got, for the Six of Cups, you've got the Ten of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, and the Fool. That Six of Cups, with those, it feels a bit like an old dream or an old ideal, and maybe contemplating that, or contemplating how you used to be, even. Like if you feel that you're not as happy as you used to be, that you're not as liberated or stable and secure as you used to be, that you're not as happy as happy go lucky as you used to be with that Fool energy. That's a thought that comes to mind. With that Six of Wands and the Two of Cups, again, that goes back to that whole fairness thing. Part of feeling like you're being treated fairly, it is being seen and valued, with the Six of Wands, and being understood with that Two of Cups as well. So I think part of the advice here may be about being selective where you give your time and energy and effort, and who you give it to and how. That does come to mind. And that will probably help to change things with that World card. But as I said, if you're not getting that where you are, it's a time to look at new ways or opportunities. It could even just be about the way you communicate that can change that. But how can you get that? How can you get the engagement and the sense of fairness that you want? What do you need to do for that? Is it just about communication, or is it that you need to seek new circles, new opportunities, like new social circles or whatever, or new opportunities altogether? Let me get one for that World card. Do you need to speak up about anything? And then we have the Eight of Swords, which is someone trapped in their thoughts. You've got the Hierophant in reverse. Whenever I see the Hierophant, well, not whenever, but sometimes when I see the Hierophant in reverse, and especially with the Eight of Swords, it's kind of a breaking the rules kind of energy to me. Or breaking the old habits, the ways you used to do things, like because the habits are rules that you've set for yourself, haven't you? Whether it's that it's come from society, family, whatever. And then the term breaking the mold is coming to mind as well. Okay, and then you've got the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Again, being selective about how, who, what, where, why you give your time and energy and effort to things, and making sure again that it's fair to you with that Knight of Cups there. Okay, I hope that did make sense. I think, as I say, the overall theme was about how do you get what's fair to you? Do you need to speak out about something? Do you need a new plan? Do you need new people, places, things? Let's get you final advice from the Sacred Power deck. So final advice, that was quick. Do I want to take that one? See, it's double flipped as well. I'm not going to take it, but I will show you what they are, because it's kind of double flipped back on itself, which is weird. You've got transformation in the Tree of Life. So, you know, that would be guidance to do something differently in order for things to transform, whether it is the communication or your actions need to be different. That Tree of Life, the main thing I'm getting from that is about the roots and the foundations. And again, when that Six of Cups came up, it felt like contemplate. One of the meanings of it in the reading came up as contemplating who you used to be or how you used to be. And that would be to do with the roots, the foundations of who you are, wouldn't it? So let me try that again. Final advice for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising. Right, oh God, how many have you got? You've got like 3. I love it. Right, first of all, we've got intimacy. I mean, you got that Lovers card there. Look at the colours there. Look at the colours. Red, well, orange, red, and then the blue or white, bluish white. So it could be very much related to your relationships with people, whether it is romantic, platonic, whatever. You get the communication card next. This is a beautiful communication card. So, I mean, I've said communication about 50 times in this reading. I said it at the beginning when my throat was messed up. That is something that's going to be important here. In terms of your relationships, communication can have a massive impact on intimacy, can't it? It can improve it. So yeah, that might be a thing, whether it's that you're in around a person who needs to communicate better or you need to communicate better. That seems to be quite relevant. Then we get the Rainbow Dragon card, which I'm going to have a look at the book in, because it's one of those where you just can never remember what the hell it's about. So let's see. And I'm not going to read the whole message. I just want to get the oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. It goes. So the brief message says, be honest with yourself and others, release your burdens. So I'm going to take that as the message. And it says, well, the thing that's standing out on the page is honesty is required in all right now. Honesty is required in all areas of your life. When you begin to unburden yourself, you allow yourself to be open to the gifts of the universe. Now is the time to get busy. And I will, and your reading's going to be longer than the others, but I will go through this. So look at the dragon and see what color stands out for you. If you want to do this, if you don't, then you might as well just end the video now. But yeah, look at the colors, and then it gives you guidance on. It says which color are you attracted to, because it'll say which element can help you in your current situation. So if you are drawn to pink, the pinks and purples, it's earth energy, and it's saying that grounding, nature, practical life cycles, balance and harmony will assist you in your situation. If you're attracted to white, then it's air energy, and breath and meditation, clarity of consciousness are needed. If you're attracted to the blue, it's the water element, and it says accessing and freeing emotion, truth and expression are going to be necessary to assist you. If you're attracted to red and orange, it's the fire energy, and it speaks of finding your passion. And if you're attracted to the purple, it's spirit energy, and it says placing you on your life direction, harmonizing yin yang energies, emergence of one with spiritual law, and in brackets identifying patterns and rules governing life, creation, awareness and higher frequency that would be relevant for you. So I'm going to leave that reading there. I really hope there was something helpful. I know it was a bit all over the place, but hopefully you got something valuable from it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Take care. Hi Libra, welcome to your reading for July, the latter part of July going into August. Hope that you're doing well. In front of us we've got some of the decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. We're going to start off with a message from the Beautiful Creatures deck. It's actually a tarot deck, but I usually tend to use it more of an oracle deck, which is what I'm going to do today. So let's get straight into it. So what do we need to know for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising? Okay, Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising, what do we need to know for you? Anything at all. Right, Libra, you've got the Six of Swords, which in this deck, it refers to detachment. I mean, it is typically a card of moving on. So let's put that. That feels blurred. Okay, let's put it there. Let's get your tarot cards out as well. Interesting, I've just split the deck to shuffle, and you've got in the wrong way now. You've got Justice and the Five of Swords on each end of the deck. So let me see if I can put these back together without ruining the the setup. Okay, I think that's it. Right, so what are the oracle cards that we need? Sorry, tarot cards that we need for Libra. I'm just asking myself if this is right. I am getting a yes on this. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles. What else do we need for Libra? You've got the World, you've got the Tower. I am not surprised. I wish I would say these things sooner rather than later. Because you got the Detachment card, when that Ten of Pentacles came up, one of the thoughts I had was that, I don't even know how to say this now. Whatever idea that you had, that you needed to commit to, about what you needed to commit to, you may need to detach from that idea. So, you know, like if you, say one example, you know, like if you're with, in a relationship, in a romantic relationship with a particular person, and you see yourself marrying them, and you have your heart set on it, and it's like, yeah, this is the person I have to marry, but there's like there's something about the relationship that is just not actually stable, and it's just not, it just, at the heart of it, it can't really work out. It's need, like, it would be a need to detach from that, having the idea in your head that it's that particular person, and being open to other things, because you've got the world there, you've got the tower there. Let's see what else comes up. Or even if it was like a career path where you like, you have you, no, I won't even say your heart, to be frank, like your mind set on something, because if your heart set on it, then, you know, that's not so much of an issue. But if you have your mindset on it for whatever reason, and you've got it stuck in your head that you have to stick with this, and you have to do this and commit to this, that can be a bit of a problem, because is it authentic? You know, do you authentically want to commit to that, or is there just some other reason why you feel that you have to stick to that, or think that you have to stick to that even? Let's get one more card. And of course, I knew this bloody card would show up, the Hierophant, because that, the Hierophant, that's when you feel that you, it's rules, isn't it? One of the meanings of it is rules. And in this, I say it all the time, this Hierophant card, it looks like S&M, which is weird for a Hierophant card. And he's got the rule book there, so it's controlling. It's like controlling people with a whip, isn't it? Like it's forced, you know? It's not necessarily authentic. And then you've got the Knight of Swords, which would be authenticity, because it's being honest. It's being honest with yourself. It's expressing that honesty. I can't even say it. And I haven't thought of this meaning for the Knight of Swords in a while, have I? I was thinking of something else, actually. I was thinking of, it's the King of Swords, isn't it? Is it the Queen of Swords or King of Swords, where they cut people off or cut things off? It's not that, though. The Knight of Swords is like brutal honesty. They wouldn't be afraid to detach from something if it wasn't right. Anyway, let's get into the clarifiers for you. What do we need to know about this Ten of Pentacles? Ten of Pentacles for Libra. Oh my God, I knew it was going to come out again. I literally could feel it coming out again when I saw that tower. I had a feeling it would. The tower again. Something, I believe, is not as stable as you expected it to be, as you thought it was, as you think it will be. Yeah, so something might have already happened with this, where something that you thought was stable, it's kind of fallen apart, it's fallen down. It may have already happened, and there might be a period of recovery going on here with that Four of Swords. If it hasn't already happened, it's more a case of you might be thinking about how stable it is, or coming to awareness of the lack of stability, because the Four of Swords for me can be really thinking about something deeply, like taking a bit of a pause to assess something, to make sense of it in your own mind. Anything else for that Ten of Pentacles? I mean, the Tower here as well, it can also represent the need to detach from something, to let the Tower fall. And the Four of Swords can be a card of detachment as well, as in like no communication, and like kind of cutting yourself off from something. So we've got the Justice card, and we have the Ace of Cups as well. Okay. So I'll say, if something has already fallen apart or is on the verge of falling apart, with that Justice card there, it's for the best. Even if it doesn't feel like it at the time, it's probably for the best. One thing that will do is free you up to to be able to bloody refill your cup again with the Ace of Cups. Because if you're in certain situations where there's a lack of stability, and it's a bit chaotic, it can drain you. It can be very, very draining, and it empties your cup, doesn't it? So once you're free from that, it gives you the chance to refill your cup and to feel good within yourself again. That's one thing that comes to mind. Another thing, as I say, with that Ten of Pentacles, if you had your mind set on something, on committing and sticking with something, there's a need to contemplate what really is best. This is a common theme. This is just coming up with everybody. I don't know what the planets are doing because I'm not an astrologer. I mean, I do keep an eye on some things, but I'm not like, I don't have the full astrology knowledge. Bear with me a minute. The camera's battery's dying. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video to do this. Okay, Libra. I've kind of lost my place now because that took a while for the battery to start charging. So we were talking about commitment. If there's anything you've got your mindset on committing to, you may need to consider if actually that's not the best thing for you, and you might need to detach from that. There was a specific term that I had in mind and it's literally gone now. Favorable. Is there something that you're committed to that isn't very favorable to you, whereas you could detach from that and choose something else that is more favorable? That's something to bear in mind, something that's going to be more fair, beneficial, more fulfilling. Oh, the battery's gone again. I don't know why this is happening. Okay, bear with me again a minute. Okay, Libra, we're going to try again and hope that this works. Otherwise, I might have to stop and charge and continue after. But anyway, let's move on to the world. So, I mean, initially that would be the thought of, is it time to detach? Oh, it's done it again, hasn't it? Is it time to detach and go into a new cycle? I'm just wondering what the best thing is to do with this. I think I may have to pause again. Oh, it's come back on. I'll just see what happens. Right, let's do the world. Okay, I'm going to have to pause because I think something's wrong with the wire, so it's not connecting properly. So just bear with me. It'll only be about a second for you. Okay, Libra, let's try again. So the world. So we've got the Page of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. I'm not actually surprised that those two have come out in reverse. I feel like, and I'd thought it before I took the cards out, because of the fact that the battery power keeps on going. Is that a sign that you kind of don't want to let go of something? That's a thought that comes to mind. Okay. You've got the Ace of Swords there, the Page of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's like there's some worry about detaching or letting go from something. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it can be, it's just a better the devil you know energy, isn't it? You prefer to stick with what's familiar. You're not sure how going into something new would work out. So it can be that. I mean, you've got anxiety there with the Nine of Swords. With the Page of Pentacles, it can be sometimes that you don't feel like you have enough to give to something new or something different. Or for some, it can be that you don't want to start from scratch. Let's get one for that Ace of Swords. You've got the Emperor and the Star. So it's like with the Emperor and the Star, there's a need. It was just in my head and it's gone now. There's a need to be honest with yourself, first of all, to be very honest with yourself about what's best for you, what you want, what's best for you. And I'll say empowered choice. And I think I mentioned that I can't remember whose reading it was. It could have been Gemini, where I mentioned that there's a need to make an empowered choice and to have faith in that choice as well, and in yourself with the Star card. With the Emperor, it is an energy of someone who can they're a leader, they can handle anything, they can deal with anything, they can take control of situations, and there's probably a need to take that energy going forward, if you want to go into a new cycle and detach from an old cycle or something that you were committed to once. You know, I kind of get with that Page of Cups as well, and with the Four of Cups, even though it's in reverse, there's something about maybe where you are now, you almost feel like you can't be yourself, possibly. That comes to mind as well. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that there and move on to the next card. So yeah, it's that query again about whether you need to detach. What do you need to detach from? What are the fears? What are the worries about detaching and going into something new? Or to allowing a new cycle for yourself by detaching from something previous, old, whatever. Let's look at the Tower. Looking at that Hierophant, one of the things I'm hearing is, oh, but this is how it's always been done, or this is how I've always done it. So that might be a reason why someone would resist detaching from something. Let's have a look at the Tower, please. So you've got Judgment. You've got the King of Cups. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Hanged Man. And we've got the Page of Wands, Five of Pentacles, and Five of Cups. Okay, one thing that's immediately coming to mind for someone needing to detach, if they're resistant to it, is detaching will hurt. That's a simple message, you know. I mean, obviously, if it was a romantic relationship, and sometimes even if it's like a job that you've been at for a very long time, or you wanted to move to a new house from a house that you've lived in for years and years, it would hurt leaving that behind, detaching from that. But if the message detach is coming up, there's got to be a really good reason why it would be more beneficial for you to detach from that, if that's the case. Or even if it's just an idea of something, there's got to be a beneficial reason why it would be better for you to detach. Or I don't even want to say better, but sometimes it's just about needing to be more open to other things instead of being stuck on one thing. And it can be, I don't know if I've said it already, I think I have at the beginning. I said something may have already fallen apart and there's a recovery period. When things fall apart like this with the Tower, it's because it's been unstable for a while. Or it was never stable to begin with. And with it falling apart with the Judgment card, it does give you a new opportunity. You've got the Wheel of Fortune there as well. It's a new opportunity to kind of to do something that is more honorable. Because the King of Cups for me, it's usually honoring feelings, to be honest. So it allows you to honor your feelings more. But again, you've got that Hanged Man card. I mean, the Hanged Man can be an indicator of needing to surrender. But it can't be, and usually because you're kind of in limbo, aren't you? You're kind of in limbo, overthinking something possibly. And it's usually deep, you know, it's usually not something small when the Hanged Man is there about why you're sort of stuck and suspended, you know, and why there's a resistance to surrendering. It's usually pretty something deep rooted, like it could be a deep rooted belief even that's keeping you kind of in limbo. But with the Page of Wands, that is the indicator to open up to something new. And it almost looks like, does it look like the Hanged Man is looking at that Page of Cups? He kind of is. It's kind of like he's looking at that Page of Cups, but from a really weird angle. So that could be it as well. Like there might be something about your thought process where you're looking at the possibility of a new direction, a new path, a new opportunity, a new way, but looking at it in a I can't think of another word, just in a weird way, a distorted way even. Yeah, distorted. I think that's the word I want to use. Even he's upside down, isn't he? So there might be somewhere you're looking at the new in an upside down kind of way where you can't see how it would be good for you even. That's what comes to mind. I mean, you've got the Five of Pentacles and Five of Cups. Again, it's something where there could be fears around, oh, I'm gonna get hurt, or I'm gonna get rejected, or, you know, fears around that. So it's almost like there's a mindset that the tower is going to be, I mean, obviously towers aren't meant to be fun, but that like the aftermath, which would, the aftermath of a tower is going to be difficult, but like in the long run, it's usually for your own good, you know, that kind of vibe, for your own good. Let's look at the Hierophant energy. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles there. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Strength card. I like the King of Swords and this, well, yeah, the Eight of Cups, King of Swords and Strength card together are good. That is a strong energy of choosing, making sure that you're choosing what's best for you, which seems to have come up in every reading so far. Then you've got the Knight of Swords and the Four of Wands. So the Seven of Pentacles, first of all, you've got the Hierophant there. Again, it is I think I said it before, it is a card of commitment. And I have to keep an eye on the camera now because it's going to cut out at some point and I don't want it to cut my words out. So with the Seven of Pentacles, it is a card of, it's kind of the is it worth it card, or it's where you've invested in something and you want to see the results of that. The Hierophant, again, I think is what I was originally saying, it is a card of commitment again. So it can be looking at, is it worth the new, committing to the new, that's one way that's worth it, or the Hierophant can represent the old thing and it's kind of questioning, is it worth leaving that behind? I mean, you've got the Eight of Cups there, that is a card of leaving things behind. I think I may have missed the point where the camera cuts out, but oh well. Then you've got the King of Swords, the Strength card, Knight of Swords, Four of Wands. That is where you're really making a decision for yourself. You're having the courage to sort of weigh up all the pros and cons, take everything into consideration. I mean, the Eight of Cups is a courageous type card as well. If you're leaving something behind because you're just not feeling it, it's not fulfilling anymore. And just being very honest with yourself about what's best. I mean, the Four of Wands, it is a card. It is quite a harmonious card, isn't it? It's a card of celebration. It's a card of foundations as well. It can be connected to family, home, that sort of thing. So it's kind of having that courage and honesty, radical honesty within yourself of deciding what is going to be better for you. Okay. So let's look at the Knight of Swords. So what do we need to know about the Knight of Swords? Empress. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. I'm getting the word deter. So, I mean, the Knight of Pentacles can represent you being really honest with yourself and expressing your truth and expressing what you want. You know, if you're gonna have a conversation with someone or an organization or whatever about detaching from something, it can be that, and having that radical honesty and radical truth where people might not like it, but you've got to be blunt. So it can represent you, but it could also represent for some another person or organization or whatever, kind of opposing or deterring what you want to do. Like, you know, like if you've ever wanted to leave a job and then they come back at you with, oh well, we'll pay you more, but the point of you wanting to leave was nothing to do with the pay, it was the conditions or whatever, you just want a different path overall. So it's that kind of vibe. Or, you know, even if you've ever been in a relationship where you've wanted to leave and then every time you try to leave, your partner comes up with some deterrent, you know, whatever reason or excuse or whatever they come up with, why no, we got to give it another chance, you should stay, blah blah blah. It could be that kind of energy for someone as well. So it's a deterring you from your plans. Let's see what else comes out for that. Knight of Wands, King of Wands. I love that. Don't you love how So the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles are closely related energies. Like the Queen of Pentacles for me is the minor, and many other readers is the minor arcana version of the Empress. The King of Wands, the Knight of Wands is the slightly more, yes, it could be immature, but more, I don't know how to put it. It's like the teenage version of the King of Wands, isn't it? So yes, the King of Wands is someone who will take a risk and they're determined and they do what they want. But the Knight of Wands is that with even less of a sense, like less of a sense of responsibility to anyone or anything. It's like, this is my journey, this is my path, and I'm going to do it. Either way, all of these energies are kind of looking out for yourself, taking care of yourself, making sure that you're taking care of your needs and doing the things that you want to do. The Ten of Pentacles, again, there's that kind of deterrent energy. And I guess this is kind of the advice, really, again, which I feel like I've said it in every reading this for this batch so far, is about making sure that your needs are met and looking out for yourself. Making yourself a priority is the way I put it, because as I keep saying, it's not about being a completely 100% selfish person who never gives a shit about anyone else. It's not that. It's just making sure that you prioritize yourself. Let me get one for that Ten of Pentacles. As I said, that could be the interference. If this Knight of Swords is more about interference, and it's about standing up against that and being like, nope, I'm taking care of myself, I'm prioritizing myself, and I'm doing what I want to do, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. What do we need to know about that Ten of Pentacles? Two of Swords. So yeah, again, it can be the deterrent, because then that gives you two truths, doesn't it? You have the truth where you want to detach and go new, if that even makes sense. And then you've got the deterrent side, which is kind of keeping you held back, which again, that Hierophant is there. So that can be the old way of doing things, or the old ways. There might be something morally here for someone as well, where morals come into it, where you feel like if you detach, there's something potentially immoral about it, whatever that means for you, what your morals are. But on the other hand, it can also be the choice, where the choice is needed or decision is needed to decide, well, what do I want to actually commit to? Or who, even if you've got the Two of Cups there. Let me just get one more after that Two of Cups. Try that again, because like 50 cards came out. It kind of feels, that Two of Cups kind of feels like a sort of form of acceptance. Like whatever your decision is and the actions that you take, you need it to be accepted. Like, I don't mean you literally need it to be accepted, but it needs to be accepted. So again, if there's a conversation you need to have with a person, a group of people, an organization, or whatever, it's that whatever final decision you make, they need to accept it. There can't be this constant interference, and even if there is, you got to stand by your choice, your decision. Confidence plays into this as well, with the Magician having the confidence to detach, to go for the new, to stand up to whoever you need to stand up to. That comes into it as well. Right, I'm going to leave it there and see if I can get some more advice. I hope that made sense. It was a bit difficult with all the distraction of the battery dying, and which was probably an energy in this, in terms of making your decision, is that there's just interference and distractions and whatever going on. And again, I'll reiterate, it could be morals, it could be something practically, it could be a relationship, it could even be a thought pattern that you're needing to detach from, or that there's a need to detach from. Let's get your advice from the Sacred Power deck. You've got compassion, and you have sound. So I said, in whoever got this before, I can't remember who got the sound card before, it might have been Capricorn actually. The thought that comes to mind with the sound card is to make sure that you're listening to yourself, and I'm looking at that Judgment card. You're expressing yourself clearly and honestly, you're listening to yourself clearly and honestly, and that if there's something that you're being called to, you're listening to that as well. Also, if you're someone that kind of prays a lot, or you have spirit guides or whatever, or angels around you, and you communicate in that way, then, you know, hear those messages out too. You've got the compassion card, and I usually say with a card like that, it would be have compassion for yourself first and foremost, because you need to be able to give that to yourself first. Obviously, if there are other people involved or other situations involved, you can have compassion there as well, but not at the expense of then putting yourself at the bottom of your list of priorities. You know, you can have compassion and hear people out and stuff, but, you know, understand where they're coming from, but that doesn't mean you then have to go along with whatever they want just to keep the peace. So I think I'll leave it there, Libra. Sorry for all the interruptions with the battery. But thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching the reading, and take care. Hi Aquarius, hope that you're doing well. This reading is for the last half of July going into the beginning of August. In front of us, we've got two of the decks I'll be using for today's reading. We're going to begin with a message from the Beautiful Creatures deck. It is actually a tarot deck, but I tend to feel like it's more of an oracle deck for me, so that's how I'm going to use it today. So what do we need to know for Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising for the last half of July? Can't believe the year's gone by so quickly. What do we need to know for Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising? That was quick. So you have the Eight of Cups, which they refer to as quest. And you have the King of Cups, fascination. And I can see it's blurred, so there we go. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, let's get your tarot cards out as well. So what else do we need to know for Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising? So first of all, I am going to keep these together. You've got the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Anything else? Knight of Wands. You've got a shitload of wands in your reading, Aquarius. So strong fire energy. Anything else? Ten of Swords. Am I taking these? No. Okay, I'm getting a no on that. Try that again. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Let's get the clarifiers. Excuse me. Okay, so what else do we need to know? What do we need to know about the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Wands? Something about the Eight of Wands with the Queen of Wands feels fast. I mean, I know that the Eight of Wands alone can be, I know it can be communication. So it could be quick communication, but it also can be movement as well. The Eight of Wands can be movement as well, but it feels quick with that Queen of Wands. And then the Knight of Swords, I mean, yeah, I don't know why I said that. The Knight of Wands is a quick energy as well. Okay. Yeah, what do we need to know about the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Wands, please? Try it again, it's not coming out properly. Right, we've got the Five of Wands, the King of Swords, High Priestess, the first thing that's coming in here is that you may, for this period of time, you may have the ability to solve problems really quickly. I know that's a weird thing to come in. Either to solve problems and challenges really quickly, or like information, intuitive information comes in really quickly. So one thing that's coming to mind, and it's not even to do with these cards, it's like, this is a weird one. You know, like if you went on a first date with someone, and I know that we do tend to have to make like quick judgments and stuff, or form opinions quickly about people. Like, but you know, like if you went on a first date with someone, and unbeknownst to you, that person, there was just something dodgy about them, whatever it is, whether, I don't know, it could be anything. There was something dodgy about the person, whether it's that they're dishonest or they're a scammer or any number of things. But it's almost like you would go on that date, and within the first 10 seconds, you would just get this intuitive hit that there's that no, just like a no, that don't even bother. And it's like, not only would you get that intuitive hit, but you'd get the hell out of there as well. You wouldn't even sit down and waste your time on the date chatting to this person. It would just be like, nope, I'm not doing this. Something's wrong. I'm not doing it. You might even get some kind of sense of what is wrong. Like you might get an intuitive hit that says scammer and just, you know, catfish or whatever and get out of there. But that's what's coming to mind. But there's just something really quick about it. And as I say, communication. You've got the Eight of Wands, a card connected to communication. Just checking where my mic is. King of Swords can be a card of communication, but it feels like discernment as well with that. Then you've got the High Priestess there, which is a card. It's like it's intuitive, isn't it? It's communication, but it's kind of those intuitive hits. What else is coming to mind? You might even be able to solve somebody else's problem really, really quickly. I mean, I don't know what kind of job, like if you were working an advisory service or something like that, or support capacity, there might be something where you like looking and you can see the solutions. Or, you know, at work, say if you're at work and everybody's running around like a headless chicken or arguing over some issue, and you're like sitting there knowing the answer to the problem and just watching the chaos around you while you know the answer. It's giving that kind of energy. Let's get one more card. I know it has nothing to do with these, but that's just the thoughts that are coming in. So you've got the Two of Cups. Okay, I'm getting a funny thought on that. Let me get one more. I'm just going to say, it's almost like you can read people's minds, like a bit of a, because Two of Cups for me, it's sometimes, and more so this one, because of the way the light is, it's almost like, for me, sometimes this particular Two of Cups from this deck feels like telepathic communication. But as I say, it's almost like you're a mind reader. So, and that can be used in so many different ways as well. So it could even be like in your relationships, whether it's family members, friends, romantic, whatever. It's like you kind of sense what they're thinking or what they're feeling, and you kind of, for some reason, I feel like you have the answers to their problems or whatever. I don't know how, that's just the vibe that's coming in. You've got the Star card there as well. Yeah, I mean, the Star card, it's a card of hope, but it can also be a card of healing as well, couldn't it? So again, if you have the answers to the problems, to these particular problems, then you kind of bring that healing in. You might actually be a healer or work in some kind of spiritual arts. So it could just be that you're a tarot reader, tarot reader, or a Reiki practitioner, you're a witch, a psychic, medium, whatever. That's a possibility as well. But even if it's just like practical, like typical day-to-day stuff, it's just like you just know what to do, basically. I mean, Queen of Wands, it's Leo, no, it's Aries energy actually, but both Leo and Aries energy are very much leadership energies. Could even be that people are coming to you with their problems as well, potentially, because the Eight of Wands looks like it's going towards the Queen. So if it's not messages or intuition or whatever, it could be others bringing the communication to you. Yeah, I don't know how that matches with the Eight of Cups and the King of Cups, but let's continue. So Knight of Wands, but it just feels like it's quick, really quick. So I don't know if it's like quicker than usual, like you're problem solving quicker than you normally would or something. Anyway, let's look at the Knight of Wands. Right, so I've got a bunch of cards and I'm just trying to figure out what way I want to put it. So for the Knight of Wands, the Tower, the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles. So, and I was just, okay, how I was thinking that this relates to the Eight of Cups and King of Cups. So for most of the other readings that I've done, you're my sixth one. I've taken the messages on these as pretty literal, like whatever it says there, I've taken it for the most part as pretty literal. We know in the Eight of Cups, as much as it's got quests there, we know in the Eight of Cups it is a quest, isn't it? It's a journey. It's moving on from whatever doesn't feel fulfilling or where something's missing and going to something else. And then with the King of Cups, the King of Cups can be like a spiritual leader or a counselor type energy. So I wonder if here that's what it is. That's part of it, is that it's like that counseling, almost counseling type energy. And the quest part is more about being there for others, potentially to help them on their quest. That's a thought that comes to mind. Okay, yeah, let's get a couple more. We have the Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands again, and the Sun. And that's for the Knight of Wands. Right, so what I'm getting for that, so the Knight of Wands would be someone who goes on a quest, don't they? Like they're off on a new adventure in a new direction. So if it's not, I think I've said it already, if it's not that you're, if this just kind of represents information and problem solving coming to you, problem solving information coming to you, and it's not specifically to do with other people or the relationships you have around you, it's just stuff coming in, guidance and intuition coming in quickly. With these energies here, it's still giving it's still giving this vibe of, right, Knight of Wands goes in a direction. You've got the Tower, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse. These four feel like where something doesn't work or hasn't worked. It's fallen apart. It wasn't worth putting the effort and energy into. Maybe it didn't feel authentic. There was just something off about it, again, making me think of that first date where it's like, nope, I'm not going to do it. It doesn't feel worth it. There's something dodgy about this. I'm not doing it. It's that energy. You shut it down before it even starts. And it's like, that didn't work. You get that straight away and immediately go in a new direction and become very clear. You're very clear about everything that didn't work and you need to go in a new direction straight away. It's still giving me that kind of energy. But it's just all so quick. It feels so quick. The Knight of Swords is quick as well. I think that's the quickest knight in the deck, followed by the Knight of Wands. It just feels really quick, just knowing straight off what doesn't work and becoming clear about what you do think will work, what the solution is. We've got the Ten of Swords. That's where something gets shut down, isn't it, basically? Let's see what comes up for that. That's where something ends. Ten of Swords. Queen of Wands again, Six of Wands. The Fool. It might be one of the things that comes to mind with that Ten of Swords obviously is about things ending. However, it might be that during this next couple of weeks or so, where you do shut things down, it might be a bit on the brutal side. And it may not necessarily be that you're purposely being brutal, but it just might come, that's how it might be felt by the recipient if you're having to shut anything down. Or it may be that it's necessary to be brutal in shutting something down. But anyway, let's continue. Try that again. You've got a lot of fire. Did I say at the beginning that you've got a lot of fire, or am I thinking of someone else? I think I said it in yours. You've got the Queen, Six of Wands, King. You got the Hierophant. I'm just going to get one for the Hierophant on its own. Knight of Cups. Queen of Swords. Okay. Yeah, so again, it's just that same energy of whatever you feel is not right or not working, you just shut it down really fast and find a new direction and a new solution really quickly. With the Queen of Wands, Six of Wands, the Fool, the King of Wands, and it's having that confidence as well. There's a strong element of confidence with the Queen, Six, and King of Wands, and the Fool is just doesn't give a shit, to be frank. Doesn't hesitate. It's that, again, there's not a hesitant energy with that Fool. It's just going for it, just shut down what needs to be shut down and move on to the next. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, okay. And then the Hierophant here, for me, that's once you've shut down what doesn't work, and then you just immediately write, yep, that didn't work, next. The Hierophant, as I say, it's like figuring out what you do actually want to commit to. With the Knight of Cups, so you know what you feel is gonna be right next. And then you've got the Queen as well, and she's a card of she knows her truth, doesn't she? So not only do you know what you want to then move on to and commit to that feels right, but what you know or intuitively, or what you think logically is right as well. I'd be interested to hear how this plays out for whoever this resonates with, because it's really interesting energy. As I say, I think the King of Cups, for the most part, it's probably more connected to that intuitive, having that intuitive kind of sense of what's going on. I think with the King of Cups, that's a big part of it. If it's not being like a spiritual advisor, it's because it could still be that, but yeah, it's just being very intuitive and knowing how you feel, understanding how you feel, and kind of being mature about it as well. And the interesting thing is, we say with the King of Cups a lot of the time that there's someone who's quite reserved with their feelings. I don't think that's what it's about so much in this reading. I think it's just more being very perceptive, hyper perceptive with that King of Cups. Yeah, really perceptive. And sort of almost, for some it would be like cutting your losses, which is something I've said before with the Eight of Cups. But yeah, cutting your losses, or just again saying, yep, no, that doesn't work, new quest, and you're off. Or helping someone else to make decisions around that. So Ten of Pentacles, again, that's the commitment, you know, shutting down what's not working and going towards something else that you do want to commit to. So yeah, we're going to take, we've got the Chariot. So this is for the Ten of Pentacles. Chariot, Temperance, Seven of Swords. What else? We have the Queen of Cups. And we have the Justice card. So again, with the clarifying the Ten of Pentacles, it just feels like trust, to be frank. And I know that Seven of Swords, you're probably looking at that thinking, the Seven of Swords is about lies and deception. It can be, but it can also be a risk, taking a risk with something as well. And it's just like, because it has, again, with that quick energy, it's like, yeah, just moving quickly, just moving through things very quickly. There is a thing of taking a risk here, but it feels worth it. You've got the Queen of Cups there. Feelings card. It feels worth it. It feels like it's going to work out. It feels like it's worth committing to. Justice is a card of commitment as well. Or can be a card of commitment, and it can be contracts as well. So with that Ten of Pentacles, I don't know if there's a contract of some sort, legal or otherwise, involved in this process as well, when decisions are made. There's a sense of flow here with that Temperance card. It's quick, but it flows. It's like flowing out of one situation into another. And also flowing, you can see in here, she's got water in one, fire in the other. It's flowing, the flow between the feelings and the actions of knowing what feels like the right choice and letting it flow into your actions as well. I don't know what the advice is here, to be honest. Let's see what the advice is with the Sacred Power deck. It just, yep, Sacred Power. Feels like I'm just saying what's already happening. Or maybe it is just a bit of a encouragement to trust that you're, yeah, what you're doing is, yeah, you're on the right path, kind of thing. because sometimes with the readings it's more like a confirmation or an affirmation than anything else. So it might be that for someone. If there's any little bit of doubt where you're like, oh, I'm not sure, it's like, yeah, well, this is sort of saying, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Let's see what the final bit of advice is from the Sacred Power deck. I'm going to get you another one. We've got self-love, which self-love is self-love. It's self-explanatory. And for a person, the kind of energies that have come up here of someone being so confident and just having that quick intuition and being very perceptive, that is someone who has a lot of, well, I'd expect it to be someone who's got a lot of self-love. Let's just get you one more. And if you don't already have it, then that, I guess that would be a heads up as well, to just kind of look at where you are in terms of self-love. You know, do you need to trust yourself more? Do you need to love yourself more? Those kind of questions. One more for Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising, please. Oh, wow, that's interesting. And then you have unconditional love as well, which is, for me in this reading, I would say it is a similar... There's two things that are coming to mind. It's a similar energy, self-love and unconditional love, because you give self-love to yourself unconditionally. That's the point of it. I almost feel like there's something as well, you know, like if part of there's something here, if there's something here involving someone else, another person, you know, sometimes we have to love people from afar because it's just toxic, whether it is a family member, family members, romantic relationships, friends, whatever. Sometimes you have to love people from afar, don't you? Because there's something toxic about the relationship or the person or something. And you have to sort of shut things down, distance yourself from them when you know something's not right. But you can still love them unconditionally, but, you know, from afar. It's almost like sometimes it's almost like the is this dramatic for me to say? This is almost like the only way you can love them is from afar. I know that sounds really bad, but it's like, you know, if it's someone really toxic that when they're around, they're abusive even. And it's just really hard to love someone if they're being horrifically abusive. Like the only way you could, or the easiest way for you to love them is from afar, unconditionally, then yeah, that comes to mind as well. I know that's a pretty dramatic example. It would be like, the only thing I can think of at present would be like a parent-child, you know, like for people who have horrifically narcissistic or abusive parents, and it's like, I can't be around you, I can't feel the love when I'm around you, so I have to have the distance to feel like I love you. Yeah, I don't know if anyone relates to that. If you do, feel free to leave a comment. And I haven't experienced that. I'm fortunate that I've got an amazing parents, should I say. One of them's passed away, but yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll leave it there. So yeah, hopefully there was something useful in there. I know it was a bit of a mishmash. Hopefully there was something there useful for you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching the reading. Take care.